Welcome to Stretford Paddock. I'm Ronaldo Brown and I'm back with the news after about a couple of weeks off. And boy, has there been news. It's been quite a hectic time. I feel like it's notably livening up as we've got 4 days left in the transfer window, and the speculation around United and their possible transfers is starting to pick up pace. But say what you want about it, I don't know whether it's just a continuation of personal terms agreed FC, speculation FC, and not actually getting anything done. But we'll have to see, won't we? And obviously the Sancho deal is basically still seem like it's cooled and still seems like it's stalled a little bit. Not much progression on that front. Obviously we're looking at alternatives such as Dembele, and we're going to definitely get into him. But I don't know whether the transfer window ending in 4 days might actually be a little bit bittersweet as United fans. I feel like ending might be good for us in the fact that we can get over this whole circus that's been surrounding our club in a way that we've been negotiating. And the bitter side of it is the fact that it's going to be quite an underwhelming transfer window if we don't get as many of the reinforcements that we'd like to. But we've still got 4 days of hope left, but I know it's the hope that sometimes kills. But we'll have to see what happens. And without further ado anyway, let's get into the first bit of news, which is surrounding Ousmane Dembele. And with the news surrounding Ousmane Dembele, our notable friend Fabrizio Romano basically tweeted yesterday saying that United are trying to convince Ousmane Dembele to join the club after he said no to Liverpool on loan and to Juve permanent last June. Meanwhile, United are negotiating with Barca to sign him on a simple loan or with buy option, but Barcelona are keen on a permanent deal. And what's kind of interesting about the Ousmane Dembele speculation, with all the Tier 1 journalists basically confirming that the interest is very real, is the fact that speaking to Mohamed Boufassi on Monday, who basically is quite close to Dembele and has obviously the French connection, he did state that Dembele wasn't keen on leaving and he couldn't see it happening. When we did ask him, me and Jay, he basically wrote it off. He said he doesn't see Dembele come to United, and he doesn't see that it's possible because his heart was still set in Barcelona, and that's where he kind of wanted to take his career forward, which I kind of understand. He never got like a fair crack at a whip. He obviously he's very injury prone, and that's kind of held him back. But he does seem to feel like he has unfinished business there, and then we're kind of looking for a player that's heart's not really set and moving with his injury record. I'm not sure how in agreement I am with him. I guess he's better than nothing, but as all United fans should pretty much feel like, Sancho is the person that we want to get in, and any alternative to him is not going to be anywhere as good. There's not really a comparison between the two of late. Sancho has been ripping up world football. Dembele has been ripping up nothing but ankle tape probably and hamstring tape, or whatever you want to call it, in the physio room. But if we do sign him on a loan, maybe it does give us an opportunity. Maybe it buys us a little bit of time until next season to actually get the man that we want if we can't get it over the line on Monday. But what we do need to remember is Dembele still is a quality player, and he still is better than some of the forward players that we have right about now. And if he does seem keen on the move, I don't see why not. It's like I can't even go into statistics or anything on him because we've not seen much of him over the past couple of years because he's been so injury ravaged. But I don't know, it's one that I'm kind of 50-50 about. I'm not always in agreement with signing players that are not 100% on wanting to leave the club that they're at. It kind of makes you think, are they coming for the right reasons, or will they come with the right motivation to kind of take the club forward? And that's just the way I see it. But the speculation is very real, and that's what it comes down to, and that's why I've got to report it. And if we do want the club to be taken forward, as I've just basically mentioned, we need players that are coming with obviously the kind of passion to actually want to play for the club they're going to, and not just being offloaded for the sake that they've failed at their previous club or they've flopped. But maybe that could actually be an incentive for him to move, to kind of show Barcelona what they might be missing. But the interest is very real, because Romano, who is as Tier 1 as you can get for Barcelona news, has also reiterated that Ousmane Dembele is beginning to have doubts about staying at Barcelona, as United continue to try and sign him on loan plus the option to buy. Barcelona continue to ask for a permanent deal, so he's basically reiterating the same stuff that Romano is reiterating the same things that Romano has been saying, that Dembele he's played hardball. He's obviously rejected Juve in recent times. He's rejected Liverpool. He's been wanting to fight for his place and show that he was good enough. But maybe he's been sat down in the last couple of days by Barcelona and told that his future is pretty much over. And now he's trying to think that maybe the alternative option of going to the Premier League and signing for United might be a better option for his career in the long run, and he can kind of revitalise his career, so to speak. But we'll have to see what happens. Are you convinced with Ousmane Dembele? Because I'm pretty much not. But let us know what you think in the comments and see if it actually happens. But we've got an interesting 4 days and see if it actually does occur. But that's it for the Dembele news, and into the second bit of news. And with the second bit of news is centre-back Chris Smalling. And if we're talking about sagas, we was mentioning the Sancho saga, and seems how United are quite incompetent when it comes to signing players. Seems like we're quite incompetent when it comes to selling them as well, because we can't seem to get this deal over the line. But Romano has tweeted that new bid from Roma for Chris Smalling is coming and confirmed. The offer will be more than 15 million euros and close to 20 million euro United price tag. That's why Roma are confident to complete the deal. And Roma will ask for Diogo Dalot. No one ever pronounces his name correctly. They always say Diego, but Diogo Dalot on loan, part of the deal. And this has been one that has gone on for quite a while now. And what's quite frustrating about this is the fact that if we were to sell these players that we've been trying to sell, the likes of Pereira, the likes of Smalling, the likes of Phil Jones, that's finances that could aid the possibility of getting a Jadon Sancho or getting these players that we've been kind of trying to bargain the price a little bit. We wouldn't have to bargain as much if we was able to sell players and then kind of narrow off the net spend. But the fact that we've not been able to do that, it kind of allows the likes of Ed Woodward and Matt Judge to be a little bit more sturgeon when it comes to their bids and so on. But this is something that you would, obviously, if you're trying to sell players, you need to get it done. You need to get rid of the deadwood. But even though we've kind of heard in the transfer window that the reason why we've not been able to sell the likes of Chris Smalling, Phil Jones and Andres Pereira is the fact that we've not really had that many buyers. They haven't garnered that much interest, which is kind of worrying. If you're a United player, you've got United appearances and you've got that kind of pedigree in your resume, and you can't get any sort of interest from other buyers or people looking at you for a transfer, it kind of talks to some of the quality that we still have at the club, which isn't. It's not a good telltale, is it? I don't know. It's been a difficult transfer window for me. It's been a difficult transfer window for us all, and that's why I'm kind of feeling that when it's over, it's going to be over for good reason. But with United's defensive frailties, Maguire, Lindelof, Bailly probably being the best centre back at the club off performances, even though he can't seem to always stay fit, and you're never quite sure what you're going to get from him. Selling Chris Smalling is kind of 50-50. I know he's a good defender. Well, he is good defensively, but he's not kind of the technical centre-back that I've kind of mentioned. He's a bit technical inept and sometimes a little bit clumsy. If you want to get rid of him, and he's basically surplus to requirements, that 5 million difference in kind of price tag negotiations, I don't think it's enough for United to carry on being a stubborn. I think that's one that we need to get over the line. I need to get done and move on. But let me know what you think about Chris Smalling's departure and whether you see it happening before the transfer closes on Monday. And from one departure to the next, it's from Chris Smalling to Andres Pereira, which is another man that we've been trying to get rid of for a long time, which obviously, as I just mentioned, he's not garnered that much interest, but Lazio have bit the bullet, and they bit the bullet quite hard, with negotiations surrounding them basically suggesting for Romano that paperwork signed between Lazio and United for Andres Pereira on a loan-to-buy option of 27 million euros. And it seems kind of contradictory, the fact that I've said that they've not garnered much interest, but Lazio are kind of fleeting with the option of possibly looking to buy Pereira for nearing 30 million euros, and I don't feel like he's nearly worth half of that. Without being rude, he's not pretty much shown anything in his career to suggest that, but it comes to the question again. We've been struggling to get Telles, we've been struggling to get Jadon Sancho, and obviously we've had to, we see now, what's the right word for it when you're describing how Ed Woodward and Matt Judges and the likes of the world and the United board have been kind of acting with the way they've been negotiating. They've been allowed to do that because we've not got any money in transfer-wise, and that's been part of the problem. I feel like if we were a little bit less a pain in the arse in selling our players and actually getting that money in, it kind of narrows the net spend a little bit and allows us to a little bit more flexibility when we're actually trying to negotiate or send bids in. And that's kind of the way I see it. But if we do get Pereira out there, and we do get Smalling out of the club as well, and bring in that kind of money, maybe it does allow us to do a last-ditch bid for Jadon Sancho. Obviously, we've bidded 90 million recently. That's what Sky has reported. But it's still a good 30 million away from the evaluation that Dortmund want. I feel like every million counts, and if we get rid of these players, it allows us to do that. But we're kind of running out of time, and that is the issue. But if Pereira does go on loan and we sell him, it makes no difference to me, because I'm not sure if he's that much of a United player. And I don't think Chris Smalling really is either. So I'd rather talk about the ins rather than the outs. But if the outs are going to help us get the ins, then that's beneficial to us as well. But that's it for the Pereira news, and that's it for the news in general. There's not been a huge amount of updates in the last 24 hours. I think it's just continued speculation, but I don't know what is quite concrete, and we'll have to see what's coming in the coming days. And obviously you can catch that here on Stretford Paddock. You can catch it on the Transfer Live, which I'm sure that we'll have later. And we'll have all the news as it breaks. I think we'll go live if anything breaks throughout the day. And we'll have news tomorrow. We'll have the press conference reaction tomorrow as well. We'll have the transfer review on the weekend. We're going to have it all here for you, and we've got something very exciting planned next week for the transfer deadline day, so you don't want to miss that either. But I've been Ronaldo, this is Stretford Paddock, this is News at Old Trafford, and I'll see you next time.